Welcome to Real-ationship Goals, a podcast all about the realities of healthy relationships. Real-ationship Goals is a project of the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. If you or someone you know has experienced sexual violence or harassment and is seeking support, services, or needs more information, links to resources and our hotline number can be found in the description. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of their organizations or affiliates. Welcome back to season 4 of Real-ationship Goals. This is episode 2. If you missed episode 1, stop, go back, listen to it. We'll talk a little bit about the groundwork for this season in that episode. My name is Aleigh.
I'm Ariana.
I'm Blythe.
And I'm Kyla.
And we're excited to bring y'all episode 2 today.
Oh, you guys, I have a story today.
Great. What do you got?
Rewind. Okay. So my story today is I had 2 mutual friends. So we're all mutual friends of we all hang out with each other. So the best friend I'm gonna call Ben. So no names. And then the other friend I will call Melanie. Okay. Ben had a crush on Melanie, but Melanie was already talking to someone else. Ooh. And so this is where it gets tricky. So Melanie was basically straddling the fence, kind of. So she would kind of flirt with Ben, and then she would kind of flirt with the other person. So it kind of left a confusion type of situation going on between the two. And so she finally decided to stop flirting with Ben. And so that kind of left Ben in a distraught state of mind. And so I just wanted to acknowledge to my friend that, hey, it's okay that you were attracted to this person. And you might have started developing feelings for this person, but I really believe it's like you're developing feelings about a person that you're not really connected to. You have this idea of what this person might have been, but it's okay to be attracted to someone and it not work out.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay to just kind of self-reflect of how you feel and just process your feelings. And so that is my story.
Great, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Okay, so as you may have picked up from that story, today we are talking about attraction. So we're going to define some terms to make a little bit of a distinction between attraction, having feelings for someone. But basically the overall context or something that we want to bring up is that, okay, let's say you're perhaps in a romantic relationship, but you are maybe attracted to or have feelings for somebody else, or you're attracted, you have feelings for somebody else, but maybe they're in a relationship with somebody else. Whatever the dynamic, it can get spicy and dicey. So I'm gonna start with attraction, and then as we were chatting before this episode, Aleigh had a great distinction between attraction and having feelings for somebody, so I'm gonna punt that to you in a second. So attraction, right, is maybe like somebody's appearance or maybe like their personality even is appealing, it's alluring, it's like, yes, they are aesthetically pleasing, or something like that. So I guess maybe not quite like a crush, but it's just like, oh yes, that person is nice looking, cool. Aleigh, how did you define earlier like the difference between attraction versus like having like feelings for someone?
Yeah, so attraction, like Blythe said, like attraction can happen to like anyone, like like you are attracted to like a celebrity who's someone that you don't know, so that makes it really hard to like have feelings for them, because if you're feeling your feelings for them, it's like you're having feelings for like the idea of them, right? So you can be attracted to anyone, no matter like sort of the distance between you all. And so like attraction is like the free version, right? And then attraction plus feelings is like the premium subscription, like what you have to pay for, because now we're talking feelings, which means it's gone beyond the just like hey, I like the way you look, or I like the way that I like how funny you are, or things like that, to like, oh, I can see myself and I am interested in being in a relationship with you, right? And so it's like attraction, free version,
YouTube with ads.
And attraction plus feelings is I don't know.
That is the you have feelings
Without
for something.
ads.
Yeah, with no ads.
No
You gotta
ads.
pay for it. Yeah, it's kind of like the elementary, middle school, like you like someone.
Yeah.
Like you have a crush on them, you like them.
Sure.
Yeah, there's levels to your like. You're like, I like you. I like you.
Mhm.
I like.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that also makes it easier sometimes with that distinction to like engage in these situations whenever these feelings arise, like especially as we start looking at like what happens when attraction and feelings pop up in like, oh, in friendships, whenever you're already in a relationship with someone and you experience feelings of attraction towards somebody that's not your partner, that can be complicated to navigate. Or let's say that you are in like your work setting and you may have a client or something that you're feeling attracted to. Like, how do you navigate those situations? And I think it's easier if it's just like a moment of attraction, because and speaking with a friend, we had talked about how it's kind of like, oh, cool, you're pretty to look at. So anyways, moving on from that. So it's just kind of like you're able to acknowledge it and then move forward. Whereas if you're experiencing like feelings of like connectedness with somebody, that's whenever it could get a little bit stickier.
Yeah. And I think, so that's kind of like the groundwork for it, where we're coming from with this episode. But what we want to get into now is like, okay, so how does this impact our relationships, right? And how do we navigate that? So like, when can those feelings of attraction or that attraction or those like feelings for someone, when is that, or can that be like unhealthy?
In season 3, I don't remember what episode it was. I did a This Week in Relationships that referenced the Netflix show Love is Blind. And in part, and the thing that I was referencing is I don't remember their name. I don't remember their names, but the gentleman, Cole, thank you, and his lady friend.
Colleen. No.
That was the other girl.
Zay.
That's her. Okay, sure. So Cole and Zay are in a relationship,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Oh yes, and they somehow got on the topic of like being attracted to somebody, or like kind of like you're a 10, and there's this moment, and it was so terrible, where he was like, yeah, like Zay, right? You're a 9, but this other lady, Colleen, is it? Like she's a 10, kind of thing, and that like intentional, like the like weaponization of saying like, yeah, like I'm attracted to you, but I'm super attracted to this person over here, like that playing comparison that gets like, there's no point in that other than to like make that other person feel less than, or make them feel like they're not good, and like they're not good enough, or they're not as good as this other person. That to me just like feels like that feeling is then weaponized against somebody else. That's just unfair, and unhealthy, and unkind. So I think one way that especially the attraction piece could get like unhealthy depending on how it's responded to. Other thoughts, examples?
Yeah, I think you can also just get, I don't want to necessarily say dangerous, but one of kind of like the icky spaces you can step into is like whenever, like especially I think in more like the parasocial kind of relationships that we have, like with celebrities and things like that, where you kind of slip into objectification, where it's like all you are to me is like what you look like. And it's just like, oh, you're hot, so whatever about the rest of you, that's kind of thing. So you just kind of like set everything about them specifically like on that one thing, and sometimes that can lead into like aspects of like entitlement of like, oh, I'm entitled to this. It's like, no, people never owe you like their body, or they never owe you looking in it like a specific way just to please you, because everybody's body is their own. So there's that.
I think a big one that comes up, I mean, just across the board when you're in a romantic relationship, and it certainly comes up a lot with our students, is cheating or some sort of betrayal, right? And so that's sort of like the I don't know if like worst case scenario, certainly probably feels like the worst case scenario for the other person in the relationship with you, right? But I think like, we have to remember that like trust is an essential part of a relationship. And we need to be like respecting people enough to be honest with them and just tell them that you want something with someone else, if that is like if that is actually what you want, right? If you want to pursue something with someone else who you're not currently in a relationship with, who you might be having feelings for, like you have to end your relationship with the other person. Like, Ariana was talking a little bit about like, for kind of like her friend pursuing two people at once. And that is like not a kind or trustworthy like thing to do, or a respectful thing to do. And so, that I don't know, that's hard to kind of think about.
Manipulative. It can turn manipulative. Thinking that you're entitled to this person, but also trying to pursue another person behind someone's back, and just not being upfront and honest about your attraction to this person. Because if you're attracted to this person and then it turns into like having feelings for this person, it can become really dangerous for the other person, because it's like, no, I was attracted to you first. I had feelings for you first. So you're mine. And it's like, no, all this can be resolved if we just be honest about how we are feeling inside about other people. And that's my take on that.
Yeah. I think it's important too, to like, if the opposite is true, like there are, person A and B are in a relationship, and you are person C, who is like, especially like having feelings for either person A or B, like saying like, if you would like to like share the feelings that you have, like that is okay, but also like needing to respect that other relationship. I don't listen to country music, but when I was with my in-laws over Christmas, we were in the car, and I think, and what I understood from this song is like this guy like drunkenly calls, I think, an ex-girlfriend who's now dating somebody else, and he's yelling like, you need to break up with him, like I'm way better, and maybe that's not how this song goes, but it was, like the gist of it was like, break up with him, come back to me, because I like still have a ton of feelings for you. And not that like it's again bad to like shoot your shot, right? Plug the rejection episode from our that was just last episode about that. But like, being extra respectful of like, people have autonomy. They can say no. You can like shoot your shot and say like, I would like to share the spicy feelings that I have, or like that I like you. And maybe that person was like, sure, I will leave this other person and not gonna be with you. But my guess is usually not. That is not always the case. So just remember to do that respectfully, do that kindly. I think like, I want to make sure we say, we distinguish between attraction and having feelings for someone. And this is kind of tricky. Like it's not a bad thing to look at someone and think that they are attractive, or if like humor is really attractive to you. It's not bad to like experience that someone being really funny and be attracted to that person, right? That's not bad. No,
I want to be clear about that. And how you navigate that in your relationship, I think is kind of up to each relationship that you're in, right? I know people who are married and watching TV together. They're like, yeah, man, that person's really hot. You know what I mean? Like, and that's fine, right? Some people might feel differently about that, but we don't always get to control the feelings that we have about either like how our partner in this case is behaving, or if we're attracted to someone. We can't necessarily control that. So, but we do have control over how we respond to those feelings. And so we want to like really be respectful and be kind. And those things, it's good to be in tune with those feelings so that we can make sure we're responding in healthy ways. And maybe for you, the most healthy thing to do is to end the relationship that you are in, regardless of what end of that you're falling on. Or maybe it is to like go back to like the trust you have for your partner. There's there's a lot of different ways to talk about this, but anyway.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think kind of at the root of that is like, it is never a bad thing to experience like a feeling. Like
Mhm.
feelings are never wrong, feelings are
Mhm.
never bad. It's how we respond to it.
Mhm.
And the best thing to do in a lot of instances like this, if you're already in like a romantic relationship, or if it's in a professional setting where
Mhm.
like this kind of feeling could like in a relationship from that would be inappropriate. The best thing to do is to acknowledge those feelings in yourself and then create healthy boundaries. So like if you're already in a relationship and you're experiencing this feeling or like confusing feelings for somebody else, like establishing a boundary of like, okay, I need to take space from that person
Mhm.
because I love my partner and I want to be with my partner and I need to like sort through that and assess like what's going on there. Or like professionally, it could be like, oh, I'm experiencing feelings for like this coworker or this
Mhm.
client. So then you need to have boundaries of like, oh, maybe I'll refer that client to somebody else,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
maybe I'll remove myself from this project and work on like a different team instead, or something like that, to kind of sort through those in those
Yeah.
ways. So just like sometimes the most respectful thing you can do for yourself, for your
Mhm.
partner, for your friends, and for the people around you is just to establish healthy boundaries.
That's good.
That's good. That's so good.
Mhm.
Woo. I think that's also a good transition into our relationship goal for the week.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I have our relationship goal for this week. So our goal for ourselves and our goal for you this week is to take the time. We've talked a lot about appreciating people in our lives, maybe that we don't already have established relationships with, like just appreciating them physically, aesthetically, for how lovely or funny or wonderful they definitely
Mhm.
are. But we want to encourage you and ourselves to take the time this week to just show your appreciation for somebody that's already in your life that you already have a relationship with.
Mhm.
It could be one of your friends, it could be one of your family members, your partner, one of your coworkers, just taking time to communicate to them how much they mean to you.
All right, great. Thanks, Kyla. I have a recommendation for this week. So this, I'm gonna recommend a show on HBO Max, which has a free 30-day trial if you're not trying to do that, the subscription, the premium. You're not trying to catch feelings for HBO Max. And it is a show called The Big Brunch, and it is hosted by Dan Levy, and it is a cooking competition show based around brunch. So that's great. And it's just all of the chefs are competing for investment money in an idea that they have, and they are all just such lovely humans. They're helping each other, even though they're competing against each other, and they're making just excellent looking food. And so that's my recommendation. It's very, very good,
Love
very
it.
lovely show. Yeah. So that's all we have for episode 2. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with episode 3, and we hope we'll see you there. Thanks so much for tuning in to Real-ationship Goals. This episode was produced by the Prevention and Education Department of the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. You can follow us on Instagram at ACCVC_prevention. See you next time.